What does Shakespeare and remote viewing have in common? Ontology. To be or not to be. You see, ontology is the philosophical study of what exists. Now, philosophers are deep into ontology, since one of their primary aims is to figure out what is real. Now, you may think that everything you see is real, and that is that. But is it? Some philosophers, as with the Platonic school, argue that all nouns refer to real things, distinct objects that exist in a physical world. The philosopher's job is to identify each of the things, name them, organize them into categories, identify the relationships between the things, and basically sort out all this physical stuff. But others argue that these nouns are not actually names of real entities or things, but rather the nouns are simply words that act as thumbnails that represent packages of experiences that one has had. So, the word Joe is not really the name of a person, but rather it is an intellectual map that points you to the meaning that makes sense to you of a bunch of your experiences that have a commonality that you call Joe. Now, in some corners, every word that you use has a personalized understanding that is, in essence, a map that leads to your memories of a set of experiences that you have had, experiences that you group together in some way that is meaningful to you. So, your spouse or lover is not really your spouse or lover. It is your set of experiences that you have had that you call your spouse or lover. That is, you cannot separate any distinct entity from the experiences that you have had with that entity. They are all one and the same. Well, this debate is really important with respect to remote viewing. You see, remote viewers are trained to report direct perceptions, and these perceptions are their experiences with remote viewing places, events, things, and people. They are trained to avoid using nouns or names that contain high levels of meaning. For example, they may see the Empire State Building in a remote viewing session, and they will describe it as it is experienced by them as a tall structure with multiple levels, with peaking topography at the top, in a densely populated urban area surrounded by lots of other tall structures. They will not say that the building is the Empire State Building. That is how remote viewing works. Names don't work. Experiences do work, and reporting the experience of something usually always guarantees much greater success in describing something accurately with remote viewing. Trying to name something nearly always leads to disaster. In fact, when learning to remote view, when students feel the need to name something, they often write it down as a deduction, stray cat, or analytic overlay, which clearly identifies it as something that is a high-level identifier. They then know that this high-level identifier is probably wrong, but they are taught to ask themselves what they actually perceived that made them think of this high-level identifier. Then they describe their experience without using a high-level name. So you see, remote viewing has something to contribute to the philosophy of ontology, which is essentially the study of what is. From the remote viewing perspective, nothing is, but everything is experienced. I know, it sounds weird to me too, but hey, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.